right, everyone, what's going on? Welcome. I'm Golden Boy, and this is the Golden Nugget. Now, I initially wanted to do this live, but unfortunately, things don't always work out as you plan. Courtyard, or the hotel I'm currently staying at, because I'm here doing the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifier. Not the best when it comes to the Wi-Fi connections, pretty unstable, and the idea is to do this show live and get the chat involved and get the community involved. But for the time being, I'm just going to go and dive into the topics of the videos, get into the nitty-gritty, get into the subjects, and just talk to you guys about the latest that's going on in the world of gaming and esports. Now, allow me to explain why I'm doing this. You know, I've been wanting to just get back and produce videos and make content. It's something that's very important to me. I love creating. I love being, active in this process. And I feel like it'll just be really, really cool if I was able to channel everything I had and just put it into this. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to give it my absolute best and hope that you all enjoy it. Now, why should you care? Why should you care about the opinions of this guy? Well, here's the thing. You shouldn't care, but necessarily I just want to help and educate and just be a part of the process, right? Be a part of the community. Talk about things that are going on in the world of esports and gaming. These are two subjects that I love, that are near and dear to me. I've been working as a professional esports commentator for many years now. I love what I do, and I feel like with my insight, I could provide a unique take on what's been going on in our world. So with that being said, let's dive into our first topic, which is actually going to be about Friday Fortnite. Now, you may be wondering what's Friday Fortnite. So let me take you all the way back in the day to like 2018 when Fortnite was blowing up. It was the most popular game in the world. And Keemstar, a very well-known YouTuber known for his Drama Alert channel, started to work on these Fortnite competitions that were elimination races. And what that means is that you and a buddy will go up against another duo, but you would join in the same team and you would queue into a squads game. In that squads game, you got to rack up as many eliminations as you possibly can over the course of 2 or 3 games, however much they determine it. And then whoever has the most eliminations at the end of it wins. Simple as that. It turned out to be a very, very compelling and exciting mode and thing that just existed for Fortnite. People loved it, right? They genuinely loved it. You saw Ninja pop off. That's when we got our introduction to Tfue. We also saw a lot of great players make their names through the Friday Fortnite system. Now, it went away partly because official Fortnite competitions started to rev up. And I don't know the details behind it all, but let's just say that, a third party ran competition like that. I don't know how long it would have lasted. I don't know what the legs would have been, but that's neither here nor there because Friday Fortnite is back. And the reason why it's back is because of the very public breakup between FaZe and Tfue, the professional Fortnite player. Turns out, according to FaZe and Banks, that they've only made $60,000 off of Tfue, and Keemstar said, hey, you only made 60 grand. Why don't you take that, put it into Friday Fortnite, and stick it to the man, if you will. The man, being Tfue in this case. And they agreed, and then we got Friday Fortnite. So the first one just took place. It was exciting. People loved it. It was like a callback to all the things that people loved about Fortnite in 2018, and it was refreshing. It was refreshing, without a doubt. Now, the question that I'm going to ask you all, the viewers, is the following. Bam. Is Friday Fortnite good for the scene? Now, what do I mean by that? So it's a very ambiguous statement, but it's very simple. People online love Friday Fortnite. Why do they love Friday Fortnite? Well, because they get to watch their favorite streamers compete in not the most insane and strenuous competitions, right? Because they're going up against mostly casual players and they're just farming them for eliminations, right? But they get to watch it from their favorite player's perspective. Also, in comparison to Fortnite World Cup, which is a broadcast, full disclosure, that I'm a part of, that I commentate on, the players tend to get more viewers than the stream would Especially some players like Tfue and Ninja would get a bunch of views versus the official Fortnite broadcast. And then there were a lot of fans on Reddit and whatnot saying how they much rather prefer watching from the broadcast, watching from the perspective of the player than watching from the broadcast POV. And there's a lot of reasons why a lot of people hate the commentators, such as myself, or they, don't like the fact that the spectator mode will desync from time to time, which when you really think about it, the fact that we even have a spectator mode in Fortnite is kind of impressive, but I'll go into that in a little bit. But that is kind of the perspective. That is the thought process right now. So let's actually take a look. Forbes put out an article kind of recapping what happened in Friday Fortnite. And, as you can see here, I love the start here. Long ago, when the trees were still young and Epic Games wasn't doing any kind of competitive level Fortnite, the tools weren't in place yet, which they are now. And the developer was working on ramping up this sudden hit any way they could. Official competitive play didn't start until the Pro-Am at E3 last year. Full disclosure, commentated that event as well. To fill that void, however, we got Friday Fortnite, an unofficial tournament, which is important to point out here, that brought together some of the biggest Twitch stars in the game at the time. And this really was the catalyst. Now, Friday Fortnite returned. We had 32 teams competing, and here are the winners. So you're going to notice something here. You're going to have Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy. Okay. You're going to have Ghost as Camo and Issa. Okay. And then you're going to have Ninja and Reverse 2K. Interesting. So, of this list, qualified for the Fortnite World Cup, I believe it's Issa who qualified for the Fortnite World Cup. Could be wrong there. I got to double check it. And Reverse 2K qualified for the Fortnite World Cup. So you got to see a trend here, right? These are like professional players. Back in the Friday Fortnite days, these players wouldn't have been invited. They would have been, spots given to popular streamers rather than given to professional players. And I think that, this is interesting for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to read this last paragraph. So, competitive Fortnite has been through a lot of change over the past year, and is likely to see more. But I think Epic Games would be wise to remember the success of Friday Fortnite, despite somewhat unconventional rules of format, may have been born out of limitations, but it fits Fortnite better than most of what we've seen after. It takes the best players in the game and pushes them towards aggressive, explosive, and ridiculous play. And it's not a perfect competition to find out who's better, but it's good streaming to be sure. And I think that this is kind of a backward statement here from Dave Thier, the contributor here on Forbes, because it says it takes the best players in the game and pushes them towards aggressive, explosive, ridiculous play. But it's not a perfect competition to find out who's better. So, like, I kind of feel like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I know this sounds weird, but, the Friday Fortnite competitions were not the best players. They were players that were decent at the game. Some of them were really good, and others were relatively decent at the game. Simple as that, right? Now, as far as, the people who ended up on top, which was Mr. Savage, Benji Fishy, Camo, Issa, Ninja, Reverse 2K, these are all people who are just competing in the Fortnite World Cup. And I'll take you back to an event called the Broadcaster Royale that Twitch ran with PUBG. And I had a chance to host the final, the championship at PAX West. And the reason why this event, I want to bring it up to you. And if you want to take a look at it, you can bring it up on Twitch. It was pro players going up against streamers. And let me tell you, the pro players absolutely decimated the streamers. It was not even funny. It was straight up like an ass kicking. And all the streamers were mad. They were mad. They were like, why am I playing against a pro player? This makes me look bad, blah, 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 blah. So they ended up changing the format and making it into Twitch Rivals. Broadcaster Royale goes away. Twitch Rivals now takes the top crown. It's streamer-based competition, which is cool. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But this is kind of going to be the same problem that we'll see with Friday Fortnite if it keeps on in this track. Because Mr. Savage, Benji Fishy, yeah, sure, they're content creators, but they're also pro players that are at the top of the game. They've qualified for the Fortnite World Cup, went through the gauntlet of thousands of duos and thousands of players, and have managed to punch their ticket to New York City. So, does that mean that they shouldn't get invited? No, of course they should have an opportunity to play. I think the world should see how good these freaking players are. But you're gonna lose your average streamer or your average big streamer, right, who is all right at Fortnite, but really not going to do all that well moving forward because they're probably going to get slapped by Savage and Benji Fishy. Is that what you want out of Friday Fortnite? Now, I want Friday Fortnite to exist, just to be very clear here. I think Friday Fortnite should exist. I think it is a very cool, different kind of competition. And I think it's welcoming. I think we need stuff like that, right? I like to see different companies tackle it as well because I think it benefits everyone when there's competition. I think it's great when there's third parties that run Fortnite competitions. I think that works out in the interests of everyone else. And I totally understand from the point of view of the viewer that's like, I just want to watch my favorite streamer play from their perspective. Totally get that. Totally get that. But I think a lot of people need to realize you cannot substitute Friday Fortnite and the Fortnite World Cup. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, all our competitions should just be Friday Fortnite, because it's hollow. It doesn't evolve. It's a fun thing, but it is not a competition. You want to see the best players go up against each other. That's what the New York City World Cup final is going to be for. Right? Because those are the best players in the world. And everyone's like, yeah, but I don't want to see people in 1x1s and all that. But I think that's part of the fun. So I feel like viewers have to recognize or should at least attempt to recognize the pros and cons of both formats. They can live in harmony. And I think it speaks to the quality that is Fortnite when it comes to the all-encompassing structures that Fortnite is. Creative, Battle Royale, Friday Fortnite, whatever spawns from creative, the death runs, all those things, they're cool. They're fun. There's a lot of options there. But there should not be a one-size-fits-all, which is kind of the conversation that I'm seeing online. But I'm happy, though. I'm happy for the streamers. I'm glad it creates a lot of content for them. And I think that is the best thing to happen for anyone who's involved in this process. I'm curious to see what happens when Apex Legends does it, because I believe that's what that Face It Pro Series thing is going to be. I don't know exactly, but I've heard rumblings that that's going to be what the format of the competition is. If it isn't, I'd be pleasantly surprised. Let me know in the comment section. Please feel free to tell me I'm wrong. But now I'm going to pass this question over to you. What do you think? Do you think that Friday Fortnite is a superior format? Is that the only format that you want to see in competitive Fortnite? Do you want to see a variety of competition types? Or are you okay with the straight-on Battle Royale, private server, 100 of the best players clashing against one another? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Now, if you happen to enjoy this video, go ahead and subscribe. You can also ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. And also, I want feedback on this kind of video. I know it wasn't the most flashy video, and I know it wasn't the most detail-oriented video, and that's really not the point of it. I wanted it to really just be a discussion, and then we just go from there. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Peace.